Improve your cycling endurance without riding more. Building up our endurance is something all cyclists want to be able to do. We want to go further and faster than we've ever done before. Yeah, the winter months are the perfect time to try and build up that endurance. But is spending hours and hours doing long steady rides the only way to increase our endurance? No, it's not. So here are some alternative ways you can build your endurance without spending hours and hours on the bike. 1. Do we need to ride for hours? Now it's fair to say that not many of us will have the time to go out on the bike and spend hours and hours out there building our base fitness. But in the past that's what we've been told we need to do in the winter when we were professional athletes. It was basically 10 to 12 weeks in the winter slogging on the bike doing long steady slow miles, mostly in the rain. And that's what winter was all focused on. But now thankfully times have changed and you don't need to be doing that. There are other ways to build your endurance. But I mean you could go out and slog around for hours and hours if you wanted to. 2. Polarized training. First up, let's talk about polarized training. Some of you might have heard of polarized training or the 80-20 rule. And others might be thinking, what in the world is it? Well, it's a training method that many athletes have been using for decades. This training method divides training into two: low-intensity training and high-intensity training. And it misses out that middle ground which is known as tempo. Basically you'll have 80% of aerobic capacity, and that means basically you'll be going nice and easy, low intensity. And then you'll be doing 20% at high intensity. The idea here is to build your aerobic capacity, and then when you do your 20% you'll be able to go harder for longer, get more out of yourself. 3. Measuring training intensity. As we said, 80% of your training should be done at a really low intensity. Now if you don't have a power meter, heart rate monitor to go off, it's the intensity that you can pedal. You can still have a conversation with someone next to you, and take in all your surroundings. Whereas if you're pedaling hard you'd really be focusing on how your body feels, and you would not have any time to look at the pretty flowers in the field. Now an example of this is doing an hour ride with your friends nice and easy, taking in the views and the flowers. And then the intense stuff, the hard stuff, the zone 4, the high intensity 20%. This is when you got to concentrate with your riding and you just got to go nice and hard. 4. Example training rides. So an example of a high-intensity session could look something like 9 times 2 minutes at 120% of your FTP with around 3 minutes rest in between. You could do that session. Or you can do something like 20 seconds on, 40 seconds off, times 6. And then do that session 5 times. Or it could be something really simple like finding your local climb and smashing it up as many times as you possibly can. Another great thing about this way of training is that not all of your sessions need to be done outdoors. Many if not all can be done on the indoor trainer, meaning you will save a ton of time and not mess around with your bike. You can get on your bike or set up on the trainer ready the night before to make it even more time efficient. Now a great example of not having spent hours and hours on your bike is our very own. You can complete that distance you'd have to be doing hours and hours of training on the bike. Well, you'd be wrong, because Ollie actually spent the majority of his training indoors doing an hour or two on the indoor trainer. And he only did one 7-hour ride before he took on that 3-day epic. So yes, he did not spend hours and hours on the bike, no. And Ollie has admitted to being a fair weather rider, and if there is any chance of rain he will be on the indoor trainer. But don't go thinking that you have to put your big girl or big boy pants and socks on and go out riding in the horrible weather to improve your endurance, because you don't. So there you have it, time-efficient training is possible and you can still improve your endurance. Yeah, enjoy the winter. We look forward to seeing your results. Let us know in the comment section below if you enjoyed this video and you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button because we know you love it.